In October 2026, identical, disturbing stories began appearing on travel forums across the United States. Drivers caught in violent thunderstorms late at night reported pulling into a glowing roadside hotel that officially did not exist. The pattern was consistent. As the weather worsened, drivers lost their GPS signals. Radios turned to static. The roads emptied out completely. Then an old hotel appeared in the rain. Those who stayed the night woke up the next morning to find their physical locations had changed, and they were missing days, sometimes weeks of time. This digital map plots those identical sightings. Travel vlogger Ryan Mercer aggregated these digital footprints after 3 different subscribers from Arizona, Colorado, and Pennsylvania emailed him the same story. They all attached a blurry photograph of the building, suggesting the hotel was a singular anomaly that moved across the country. Ryan decided to intercept it. Weather reports predicted a massive, category-level storm system would hit an isolated stretch of highway in Wyoming on November 14th. He drove out alone into the severe weather to test the pattern. He was driving into a localized breakdown of reality. He had the right coordinates and the correct weather, but he had no idea what the internal logic of this environment required of its visitors. At 11:18 p.m., the predicted sensory breakdown occurred. Ryan's navigation system froze, his radio cut out, and through the relentless rain, the Ashcroft Inn emerged exactly as the rumors described. Inside, the space contradicted its 2026 surroundings. The lobby smelled of ancient wet wood and damp carpet. A handful of guests sat scattered in the room: a truck driver, a businessman, a young crying woman. None of them spoke. An elderly receptionist checked Ryan in, offering a single, highly specific instruction for his stay. She told him that whatever happened after 2:44 a.m., he must never open room 9. Looking at this wireframe of the hotel's layout, you see the architectural discrepancy Ryan noticed on his way to his room. He counted 12 rooms on one side of his hallway, though the interior space extends far past the physical boundaries of the exterior walls. The hotel operated on a set of internal constraints that replaced standard physics, with a single absolute boundary: do not open room 9. After midnight, the environment degraded. At 2:39 a.m., the main power failed, dropping the hallways into dim, red emergency lighting. A loudspeaker clicked on, broadcasting a calm reminder to keep room 9 closed. Exactly 5 minutes later, the trigger began. Dragging footsteps echoed through the corridor. Heavy knocking started at the far end of the hall. Then, from inside room 9, a man's voice called out softly, pleading for help. The young, crying woman from the lobby heard it and turned the handle. It was her dead husband's voice. Ignoring the receptionist's warning, she stepped directly into the absolute blackness of room 9. The hotel relies on predatory mimicry. It isolates the specific frequencies of a guest's grief, reconstructing the voices of those they've lost with impossible accuracy. Room 9 acts as a psychological snare. The building weaponizes a victim's private regrets, using their own desire for closure to lead them across the threshold. The instant the woman crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut. The receptionist confirmed that the woman would wake up the next morning with no memory of the event, or of what followed her out of the dark. Following the breach, the hotel's geometry warped. Hallways stretched longer. The windows, which previously showed the parking lot, now displayed an endless dark forest. The structural collapse forced others into errors. The truck driver from the lobby wandered the impossible hallways until he was cornered, screaming that the thing hunting him was wearing his dead son's face. As the receptionist explained to Ryan, the hotel pulls in those who cannot leave their grief behind. The entities inside wait for a breach to begin a transfer, slowly displacing a victim's memories until the mimic becomes the only version of the person that remains. The Ashcroft Inn turns a person's inability to let go into a permanent parasitic loop. By the time a guest leaves, the person who walked in may already be gone, replaced by the thing they invited inside. At 3:33 a.m., Ryan faced his own test. 3 slow knocks echoed at his door. From the hallway, the impossible voice of his younger brother, who had died years earlier, called his name and begged for help. The voice exploited Ryan's guilt, accusing Ryan of abandoning him. Ryan backed away, trembling. When he refused to turn the handle, the illusion shattered. The voice dropped into a deep, distorted octave, demanding entry as wet scratching tore at the door surface. Ryan fled. He sprinted downstairs before sunrise as the physical building collapsed around him. Corrupted guests pursued him, now wearing unnatural, wide smiles. Through the stretching corridors, he burst through the front exit into faint morning light. The hotel flickered heavily, like a corrupted television signal, and vanished. Ryan was left standing alone in the ruins of an abandoned gas station. When his signal returned, he checked the date. It was November 19th. 5 full days had vanished from his life. Ryan escaped the physical structure, but the psychological link remained. Every year during storm season, he receives a voicemail at 2:44 a.m. It is his brother's voice, quietly laughing and promising that next time he might finally open the door.